Welcome back. I got our turkey pops right here done with the brining. And then these are our seasonings for our rubs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start adding our seasonings to this bowl. We have our salt. We have our onion powder. We have our garlic powder. We have our chili powder. We have our paprika. And we have our steak rub, or steak seasoning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this stirred together. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to whisk this with my hands because I didn't bring my whisk. My hands are clean. Yes, they are. I didn't touch the turkey pops yet because I don't have no gloves on. So I got our seasonings mixed in this bowl here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my gloves on before I touch this raw meat. Alright, we got one glove on. Go ahead and put my second glove on. Up. So I got some extras. Alright. Now that I got my gloves on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drizzle some of this oil, because this oil is going to help the rub stick to the actual meat. I don't want to put too much oil up there. I'm going to sit that right there. Let's go ahead and rub that meat around in the oil. Make sure we get everything covered. Let's go with the second one. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and push the meat to the top a little bit. Make sure we got that lollipop figure. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the rub. We're going to turn it. Rub here. Shake any excess off. Lay it right back there on the cooking sheet. Ooh, I think this is gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. Move around here a little bit. Shake off any excess seasonings. Make sure we got enough space on our cookie sheet. This is the biggest cookie sheet I had. Yeah, that's just enough seasoning too, because this rub is running short. So I think I got my measurements right. Shake the excess off. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. See? Get this little bit of seasoning in there. Make sure I don't got no missing spots. See, look, that's perfect. Just enough seasoning for our turkey pops. So now that I have everything seasoned in the rub, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try something different. The actual recipe has us putting this in the oven, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put half of them in the oven and I'm gonna put the other half in the air fryer so I can see the difference in, you know, the texture or how fast it takes to cook in the oven versus the air fryer. So stay tuned and we'll be back. Royalty fam, it's time to feast. What I have here in front of you is our turkey pops. I have my wild rice. I got my fizzy bubbly. What we're going to talk about today, our discussion is going to be movies. what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite genre of movies? My favorite genre of movies is horror movies. Before I turn around and get into the horror movie that I actually binge watched this weekend, I'm gonna go ahead and taste one of these turkey pops. Because remember, we actually season these with the 2 times spicy sauce that I showed you in the previous video. But these look good, and I'm hoping that they're tender like I wanted the actual wings in the curry gravy video. But let's go ahead and dig in. Woo! These turkey pops are really hot. I didn't think the sauce was gonna be this hot, but it is delicious. We did get the results that we was looking for. The actual turkey pops are tender. They're not tough. So I think we turned around and got everything the way we wanted it to be. Yeah, this meat is real tender. It's turned out excellent. I'm gonna go ahead and take a sip of my fizzy bubbly because the spices make me want to cough. That's how hot it is. But back to what I was saying previously, our discussion is going to be movies. Like I said, my favorite movie or genre is horror. I binge watched Jeepers Creepers. The reason why I binge watched that movie is because they have a new one coming out this year, 2020. It's called Jeepers Creepers Reborn. The first movie was pretty good. It was a solid movie. It's about some siblings, a brother and sister. They on their way back from vacation. They get ran off the road by a old, like, mysterious truck, and they're terrified. And throughout the movie, they basically being chased by this monster. This monster that they call the Creeper is a monster that basically feeds off humans for 23 days every 23 years. And what he does is he feeds on them to basically regenerate his body parts, his organs, his limbs, and stuff like that. In this movie, if you listen to it, Jeepers Creepers, where you get those features, Jeepers Creepers, where you get those eyes, he's actually interested in the actual brother. So throughout the whole movie, when he's terrifying these two siblings, he's trying to get the brother. The brother turns around and ends up in the actual basement because after the monster drops a dead body, he goes to look for the dead body to try to see what was dropped in the drainage pipe. He falls in there, sees a whole background walls inside the basement of the church where it got bodies sewn to the walls and body parts everywhere. And like I said, he's terrified. The actual monster chases them throughout the movie, and he actually gets the brother at the end of the movie. When he gets the brother at the end of the movie, he ends up killing the brother, but he actually eats the eyes of the brother, because if you pay attention throughout the movie, the monster's eyes is gray, but when he looks at you through the skin of the face, you can see his eyes are brown colored. So basically that's why he was after the brother. And then in part two was pretty good too. Part two, you have two brothers on the farm. The two brothers on the farm are sitting right here doing things for their father on the farm, and the creeper comes out and actually snatches up the little brother. We don't know exactly why he snatched up the little brother or what body parts he needed. Like I said, it replenishes his organs, from liver, everything, heads. And then as you get to the movie, he turned around, he terrorizes a bus full of kids out in the middle of nowhere. As he's terrorizing these kids, He turns around, starts to pick them off one by one, and then in one of the scenes, one of the kids actually takes a javelin, stabs him in the head, takes his eyeball out, and then what the monster does is he actually pulls the javelin out his head, but he pulls it out the side where basically a part of his head is missing. And when he actually kills one of the kids on the actual school bus, what he does is he eats the kid's head, and then in the movie you can see the head come up through his chest and come back where his original head was, because he takes his original head off, and the next thing you know, his face just changes to what it was before he got hit in the face with the javelin. I mean, like I said, it's a pretty good movie. Overall, at the end of that, the brother and the father from the beginning of the movie comes and actually helps them, and they try to kill the monster, and he comes with this big javelin harpoon type of gun, hits the monster, brings him down, and he just poking him to death with a harpoon until next thing you know, what happens is the actual monster goes into a hibernation. And then in the next movie, which is 3, Jeepers Creepers 3, it shows the older brother all grown, shows the father old in the wheelchair. He's sitting there with his harpoon, looking at the actual monster, because he now captured the monster and got him pinned up at the wall, charging people money to come and see it in the third one. And basically, I guess the monster comes back in the third one. He terrorizes the city, and then what you have is this little group or militia called the Tash Tagos. Basically, the Tash Tagos in the third movie is a group of victims' families who join together to try and basically kill this monster. You have Trish, who does a cameo in the third one. She was the sister in the first movie. That was Derry's sister in the first movie. She does a cameo as a police officer. And then you have the older brother who's seeking revenge because the actual creeper kills his dad, which is the person who actually captured the creeper in the first movie. So I mean, overall, like I said, it's a good movie. At the end, they still don't kill the creeper. The creeper ends up living. It doesn't really show him being captured or killed in the third movie, but it does show like everybody mourning and sad and being sad because of all the lives that was continuing to be lost in the third movie. And then at the end, Trish is on her computer and she's actually writing a letter telling the world, you know, that she's gonna go and get this monster and capture him and actually kill it. But as you look through the movies, this monster, which is called the Creeper, it gets stronger and stronger every movie. Every movie is something different. Like in the second movie, he has some type of kinetic powers over his weapons, where his actual truck was doing things on its own as far as shooting out harpoons. Because in one of the movies, the second one, no, it was the third one, he actually shot a harpoon out of the exhaust system that actually pierced one of the kids' legs in the actual third movie, because it was a group of boys on dirt bikes that were trying to that was just riding around out in the open, and they end up seeing this truck, and they were just being curious to see what was actually in the truck. But like I said, overall, it's a good movie. I'm excited to see what part 4 is going to be about, Reborn. I think it's going to be a pretty good movie. But that was my discussion for today. These turkey pops, the turkey pops are so good. I'm trying to talk to y'all about my movies and eat at the same time, but because the turkey pops are so spicy, when I'm eating and I'm talking, it's like the heat hits my throat and makes me want to cough. I'm going to go ahead and eat some of this rice. I'm not gonna eat all these turkey pops. I'm just gonna eat a couple of them. After I get done eating these turkey pops, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the gym. But let me know in the comments below what type of movies y'all like. Let me know what genre. We can make a discussion and we can talk about your favorite movies. Cause I'm a movie fanatic. I mean, I can talk about movies all day. I wanted to talk about another movie, which was It, but that's gonna be for another video because It got 3 movies and I can go into details about that movie. I love that movie. That's a pretty good movie. Also, as far as like horror movies, some other horror movies that I think are good movies is The Conjuring. If you've never seen The Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2, that's pretty good. I actually seen a post on Facebook that shows some of the upcoming movies that's going to be coming out between 2021 and 2022. You got The Conjuring 3, which is coming out. They remaking Candyman. I hope that they do a good job on this because Candyman is a classic. You don't want to ruin no classics. They already ruined Child's Play because Child's Play, Chucky. That was a good series. I think it was pretty decent, and they turned around and remade it. And I don't feel like it was as good as the originals because they changed the whole look of the character, which I mean basically defeats the purpose. See what other scary movies they got coming out. I think I heard of Sinister. That's another horror movie because I like, as far as like horror movies in particular, I like to watch a lot of zombie movies. Well, movies that have something to do with zombies. Let's see, World War Z. World War Z with Brad Pitt. That was a real good movie. I enjoyed that movie. I watched it several times. They actually coming out with a part 2. And they actually have a video game out for that movie too, which is pretty good as well. What I'm waiting for them to come out with is another Resident Evil. Resident Evil is another movie that I like. And the reason why I like Resident Evil is because growing up, when I started playing video games, that was one of the first games that my stepdad introduced me to. Was Resident Evil. I used to play Resident Evil. Y'all remember Resident Evil, the first one, and then it came out with the second one that had the 2 discs with Leon and Claire. That was a 2-disc game. That one was pretty good. That one was Resident Evil 2. But before then, on the PlayStation, they had this other game, which is a scary game called Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve was about the evolution of mitochondria. Mitochondria is a part of your cell. I can't tell you right off the top of my head what it controls, but it's a part of the cell. And basically the mitochondria was evolving, turning humans into mutants, which is almost kind of like the same thing as like close to Resident Evil, but not quite. But it has to do, and it has to do with basically like scary movies and stuff like that. Another scary movie that I enjoy, that I think they need to come out with another one for, is Silent Hill. Silent Hill, the first one, you had Silent Hill Homecoming. Well, it wasn't Homecoming, it was Silent Hill. Then you had Silent Hill, I think it was Revelations, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the Silent Hill series was a good movie. They need to come out with another Silent Hill, because they haven't come out with a game yet. So I'm pretty sure before they come out with another Silent Hill game, they'll come out with another movie. But you can also go to IMDb, which is the Internet Movie Database, and you can turn around and look at some of the top movies, horror movies. If you're into horror, if you're into drama, romance, action, thriller, suspense, you can go and check out the top movies in those categories. Check the ratings, check the critic ratings, and you can check the actual I I don't know what the tomato stands for, but it has different ratings. It has like the critic ratings and other ratings that you can check for all movies. Let me go ahead and dip into this turkey wing, this tender meat. Look at those turkey pops. Yeah, this meat is really tender. Whew. The spices really kicking in now. Get the now. Take some of the Skittles so I can get to the meat. I'm making a mess here. I'm supposed to move my tablecloth. But yeah, I ate a couple of these wings. They taste good. I enjoyed the outcome. Like I said in the comments, leave your comments for like I said, your favorite videos. I mean, not your favorite videos, but your favorite movies, your favorite genre. And also you can check the comments in this video and in the first one to actually find the recipe for the brining and the recipe for the rubs. Don't forget to check that out so that way you can go ahead and try this yourself. So that way you can know how good it tastes. Because I'm telling you, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a picky person, but this is good. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video right now. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me some feedback. Let me know what you want me to try next. Let me know what challenges you want me to try. Please continue to show your love and support. And until then, stay blessed, not stressed.